Drawing the city view landscape in Procreate is easier than you think, and I will show you how you can draw it even if you're a beginner in digital art. Before you start, make sure to download my color palette and all my free brushes that are linked in the description of this video. And if you enjoyed this video and would like to draw more of me, check out my Patreon. I have there many step-by-step Procreate tutorials and brushes. Link is in the description. And with all that being said, grab your drawing tools and let's start. Let's make a new canvas, A4 canvas from Procreate. And first we are going to color the sky, the background. Let's pick our first color. Take this one, the first one in first line. And let's take the selection tool. Here at the bottom let's pick rectangle and turn on color fill. Let's select the bottom part of the canvas like this. Tap here to finish. And now let's take next color, next one in line, this one. Take the selection tool again. And now let's select rectangle a little bit higher. Somewhere like this. Make sure those two colors here will be overlapping. And now tap here to finish, and let's move on to take next color. Next one in line, this one. Take the selection tool again. Now let's select it over here like this. Tap here to finish. Take the next color, this one. Take the selection tool again. Let's select rectangle now like this. Tap here to finish, and let's take the last color for the sky, this one. Let's select the rest of the canvas, like this. Tap here to finish, and now we are going to blend all of those colors together. To do that, let's go to the adjustments and take Gaussian blur. Swipe your pencil on the screen to add the blur size. And let's make it 50%. Tap here to finish. And the sky here is ready. And now we can paint here a city at the bottom of the canvas. Let's make a new layer for this. So tap here on this plus and let's change the color. Let's take this one, first one in a third line. Let's pick a brush. Let's go here to my siakulaart special brushes and take Buildings 2. With the brush size 65, we can start adding here some tall buildings like this. This should be enough. Now let's take another brush, Buildings 1, and with the brush size 28, let's fill in the empty spaces. Like this. Now we can add here some lights in the windows. For this we can make a new layer. And we want those windows to be visible only on the buildings. So to do that we have to set this layer as clipping mask. Let's tap on it and pick here clipping mask. Let's pick a color, take this one, and let's pick a brush. Let's take here Windows 1. Let's make the brush size here 15, and let's just add them here like that, kind of randomly. Now we can take away some of those windows. Let's take the eraser, let's tap on it, and let's set it to the same brush. So go to my siakulaart special brushes and take Windows 1. Let's make the brush size here 18 and just kind of go on those windows like this to erase some of them. Okay, we can make them shine more by changing the blending mode of this layer. Let's tap here on this N letter and let's set it to add. Now we can draw here some buildings behind those ones. Let's make a new layer for this and let's put this layer under the first buildings over here. Let's change the color. Take this one now. And let's change the brush. Let's take buildings 1. Let's make the brush size now 36. And we can add them here more in the back. But actually I think this color is too dark. Let me change it quickly. I will take something more like this and I will put it over here so your color is proper. You don't have to change here anything. Just take this color over here. Okay, so now let's stamp some of those buildings here. Like that. And this will be enough. Let's also add here some windows. So let's make a new layer on top of this one. Set it as clipping mask. Let's take the same color we used for the first windows, so this one. And let's change the brush. Let's take Windows 1. And we can make the brush size smaller here. Let's make it 6%. And just add some of those windows over here. And here we are going to turn down the opacity of this, so those lights are not so visible, but we can still see that they're there. Let's make the opacity here 65. Okay, now maybe we can add here sun behind those buildings. Let's make a new layer for this. And let's put this layer behind the buildings that are in the back. With the same yellow color, we are going to draw a circle. Let's pick a brush for this. Let's go to calligraphy and take monoline brush. With the brush size 35, we can just draw a circle over here, like this. Hold your pencil on screen and now put your finger here to make this a perfect circle. Now we can color this inside. And now we are going to move it to a proper place. So let's take the arrow tool. Here at the bottom I have uniform option selected. And we can just move it somewhere over here. Don't worry that this is now not so visible. We are going to make this shine. Let's tap here to finish. And now let's go to the adjustments and take bloom. Swipe your pencil on the screen to the bloom size. And now here at the bottom we can change other options. Okay, I think this looks good. And my settings are like that. Bloom 25, transition 40, size 34 and burn 45. Let's tap here to finish. And now we can make this more orange. Let's go to the adjustments. Take hue, saturation, brightness. And let's make the saturation higher. Let's make it 92. And let's change the hue. Let's make it 52. Let's tap here to finish this. And now let's draw here some clouds. Let's make a new layer for this. And let's pick our first color. Let's take this one. We have the monoline brush. Let's make the size big. Let's make it 100%. And this will be the very easy way of drawing simple clouds. We are just going to draw here some lines like this. Okay, now let's take another color, this orange one now, second color in the second line. Let's add it somewhere next to that purple color, and also on its own we can add it like that. Okay, this will be enough. And now let's take last color for the clouds, this one, third one in a second line. Let's add it here. And now let's take a small break, and I would like to ask you to write a comment with the word city. It would mean a lot to me. I would know that you enjoyed this video and I could see who is watching me, so thank you for doing that. And now let's go back to drawing. Now we are going to blur this a little bit. Let's go to the adjustments and take Gaussian blur. Swipe your pencil on the screen to the blur size and let's make this 4%. Let's tap here to finish, and now we are going to add here motion blur. So go to the adjustments again and take motion blur. Now swipe your pencil on the screen horizontally, like this. Make sure you don't swipe it at an angle, because then they will blur this way. If you have to undo what you did, just tap with your two fingers on the screen and start again. I will make the blur size 86. Now we can tap here to finish. And now we can erase some of those clouds so they don't go just through the whole sky like this. Let's take the eraser. Let's tap on it. Let's go here to airbrushing and take soft brush. We can make the brush size 16 and brush opacity 64. Let's erase a little bit of those clouds very lightly, like that. Okay, this should be enough. And now we can make some of those clouds a little bit fluffy. For this we can take the smudge tool. Let's tap on it again and let's set it to the watery brush from my Siakulaart special brushes. Let's make the brush size here 25, and we can very lightly move those clouds here like this. Just some of them. Let's make them more fluffy. You can tap on the screen, or you can just use regular motion to smear them out like this. Okay, I think for me this is enough. Now we can add here a tree at the top of the canvas. Let's make a new layer for this. And let's move this all the way to the top over here. And as you can see, this set itself as a clipping mask. We have to turn this off, so just tap here. Let's pick a color. Take this one. And let's pick a brush. Let's go again to my Siakulaart special brushes. And we can take here leaves. If you have my landscape brush set, you can use any brush from there too. Or if you want, you can hand draw some leaves too. Let's make the brush size here 28. And we can just add them here like that. Now we can draw some extra leaves. Let's change the brush. Let's go to inking and take Studio Pen. Let's make the brush size 29. And let's draw some leaves over here like that. This will make it nicer. It's something optional you can do. If you don't want to, you can just skip this step. Okay, I think this is enough. So now we can move on and draw the lights over here. Let's make a new layer for this. Let's change the color. Let's take this one, first one in third line, and let's change the brush. Let's go back here to calligraphy and take monoline brush. Let's make the brush size here 20%. And let's draw here some lines like that. I will draw 3 lines. I will move them down. I will take the arrow tool and just move it down like this. Okay. I will tap here to finish this. And this layer should be actually under the trees. So let's move it over here. Let's turn off the clipping mask from this. And now we can draw small points on those lights where we are going to place our lights. So let's draw them like that, kind of like a small rectangles here. Let's keep them more or less in the same distance from each other. Now same over here. And now on this line. Okay, now we can draw the lights. Let's make a new layer for this. Let's change the color. Let's take this one. And let's change the brush. Let's go here to luminance. And let's take light pen. With the brush size 100%, we are going to draw small circles on those black rectangles, like this. Let's do it everywhere. And now I like to add here still some glow in the orange color behind those lights. So for this we can make a new layer. And we are going to put this under those lights over here. Let's change the color. Let's take this one. And let's change the brush now. Let's go to airbrushing. And let's take medium brush. With the brush size 4%, we can draw small circles like this behind each light. Now we are going to spread those orange circles out. We can blur them. So let's go to the adjustments and take Gaussian blur. Let's add here blur size 14%. And let's change blending mode of this layer. So let's tap here and let's set this to overlay. We are going to duplicate this layer now to make this effect stronger. So swipe on it to the left and pick duplicate. Let's do it again. Okay. And now in the end we can add a little bit of light on our lines. So let's go to this layer over here. Let's make a new layer on top of this. Set it as clipping mask so we can draw only on those lines. And let's change the color here. Let's take the yellow one, this one. And let's change the brush. Let's take soft brush. And with the brush size 6%, we are going to draw on those lines around the lights like this, very lightly. So on both sides of the lights, let's brighten up the lines. Let's do it very lightly. Okay, and now we are going to change the blending mode of this layer. Let's set it to add. And we can turn down the opacity of this. I will make it 80%. Okay, and now this illustration is finished. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and I hope you can share your drawing with me on Instagram. I would love to see it. And if you would like to draw more of me, don't forget to check out my Patreon. Link is in the description. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video. Bye!